Welcome to BMW Gallery. My name is Santiago and I am the product genius of BMW. I have been here for 3 years and the goal today is to go through the settings with you, set up the phone, set up all the settings in the vehicle as well as all the preferences. So each customer, they like different things, so I'll go through the way I like to set up my car and how I recommend it for you guys as well. The first thing I like to do with the customers when we sit in the vehicle is set up the phone, set up the Bluetooth so that they can listen to their music, receive phone calls, call people. So to do this, first you have to go into communication. You select communication. You can either use the controller, you can rotate down to communication and press it, or you can also use the touchscreen. Once again, we have this area. We want to scroll down to mobile devices, select mobile devices, and we want to select new device on the right side. You can use the touchscreen or you can move the controller to the right and select new device. From here we select phone calls and audio, and now what we do is going to be on the phone. What you do on the phone is you go into Bluetooth, and then on this area you have to wait for BMW to show up on the bottom. You will see it will show up as BMW 32679. 32679. You just press it on the phone, and now you will see two displays, one on the phone which will show you that number and one on the display there too. You select yes, that's the same number. You can say pair on the phone, and now it's going to ask you if you want to allow all the contacts to sync in. I would allow that. And in the display it will ask you if you want to use Apple CarPlay. Apple CarPlay is pretty much having your phone app on the screen, all the apps that you use. You can get messages, send messages, all that stuff. So for most customers I would say give it a try. If you don't like it, you can always turn it off, but select use Apple CarPlay. On the phone it will ask you, would you like to use Apple CarPlay? We select use CarPlay. This is the Apple CarPlay. So once again, you can do phone calls, listen to your music, use maps, Google Maps, whatever you prefer. And you can also listen or call people through here. Now, the cool thing about Apple CarPlay is that you can use maps without actually having to reach to type in the address. You can just go into the phone, open maps, type it in, and whatever you put on the phone will automatically translate to the display in the vehicle. So that will save you some time. Now, to go out of Apple CarPlay, you can do it two ways. You can either push home right here in the controller, and then to go back in, you can also press Apple CarPlay. Or the second way to get out is you can press BMW right here on the left side. BMW, that will take you out. And the second way to go back into Apple CarPlay using the controller, you can move the controller up, you rotate to Apple CarPlay and select it. Awesome. Once the phone is set up, the next thing I like to do is go through all the settings and all the preferences with the customer. So changing a couple settings in the map view, changing the time and the date, changing the data privacy, changing the interior color if you have that option. All that stuff is what I will show you next. Perfect. So the first thing we do is I like to change everything on the map settings. So you can rotate down to navigation, or once again, you can use the touchscreen. We select navigation, and then from here you want to take the controller and move it to the left, to the right. 1, 2, it will say map settings. The first thing I change here is map view. As you can see, it's gonna show facing north. This is the standard for BMW. What I prefer is direction of travel. That way, as you can see, the map rotates as the car is moving and rotating as well. So that's the first thing I change in the map. Now to go back out, I'm gonna press home. It takes us back to the main menu. We're going to scroll down to car, select car, and then select settings. Now what I do is I start all the way on the left side and I work my way to the right. I go into general settings, select that. Date and time is the main thing I change. You want to make sure you set as automatic time setting. That way, whenever there is a time change, the car will do it for you. The second thing I do is you can keep scrolling down. All of this you can change if you want to. I personally just leave it the way it is. And I go into data privacy. You select data privacy, and you can either go individual selection and it tells you every single one of them and what they do, but I just go to all services including analysis. What this will do is it will unlock all of the features that you have available on the phone, on the app, or on the vehicle itself. Once again, if I go into individual selection, you can see exactly what they are, what they mean, and what they do. Now I'm just gonna go back. Once again, you can move back that way, back a second time, and back a third time. All right, now driving mode. What you can do in this area is if you want to go in a sport mode, so you know BMW, you have a sport, comfort, and eco pro. If you want the sport mode to have the acceleration that you want, but you prefer the steering to not be as stiff and you want it to be a little bit more comfortable, more luxurious, you can select comfort, but you can leave everything else as a sport. So that's what you can do in this area. Play around with it, change it to the way you like it. Exterior lighting, I honestly wouldn't change anything here. This is mostly for the turn signals and welcome lights, but everything I would just leave it on, leave it the way it is. Now, driving assistance. These are some safety features that you have. The first thing, safety and warning. That's all the way on the top. Forward collision mitigation. If there is a person or a car in front of you and the car feels that you're going to hit him, it will first warn you and then press the brake for you. Now you can change how sensitive you want it to be. You can leave it as late, early, or medium. I'll just leave it as medium. Lane departure warning. If you go outside of the lane without putting the turn signal, the car is going to assume you either fell asleep, you got distracted, or something happened. So the steering is going to vibrate, or if you want, you can also turn the steering intervention, which will actually control the vehicle. So if you go outside of the lane, the car is going to actually pull you in. It will control itself. And the last one all the way down, active blind spot detection. On each mirror, there is a little triangle which will light up orange if there is a car in the blind spot. That's everything for that. You can also go one by one through this. Honestly, I would just leave it the way it is. I wouldn't change anything here. Back. Now the display. The only thing I changed in the display is called the heads-up display. So the heads-up display will actually show up right in the windshield in front of you. Only the driver can see it, no one else. You can change the brightness, you can change the height, you can change the rotation. You can change what you would like to be displayed. It will show you things such as the speed limit, it will show you how fast you're going, it will show you the map if you input a navigation, if you input an address. So that's where you can modify what you want. Now I'm gonna go back and back a second time. Actually, yeah, on this area I would just leave it the way it is. I wouldn't go through anything there. Back one more time. Door/vehicle access. Now the first thing I wanted to show you is comfort access. Now not every car has this feature, but if you do, you can choose if you want the car to lock by itself when you walk away, or if you want the car to unlock when you approach the vehicle. Now this only happens when you have the key with you. If you don't have it with you, of course it's not going to do it. Right now I'll just leave it on, but if you don't like it for a safety feature, you can turn it off. I'm gonna go back. Now I'm going to scroll down. And all of this, once again, you can modify. I always ask my customers if they want the mirrors to fold in when they lock the car. This is where you can find it. Now, back once again, we're gonna go right, interior lighting. Once again, not every car has this feature, but if you do, you can change it. You can change the brightness and the color. If you go color, it shows you have bronze, orange, white, blue, green, and lilac. So you just select it, and the interior color will change for you. We'll keep going to the right. Climate control. There is only one thing I want to change here. This is if you have a vehicle with remote engine start. So what we do is we're going to select climate control. We will rotate down to preconditioning/ventilation. Select that one. Rotate down to remote engine start. Select it again. And you want to make sure there is a check mark. To start the engine using the key, you can press the lock button 3 times. So what you do, you press the lock button 3 times in a row. 1, 2, 3. The lights of the vehicle will flash and it will start the engine for you. You can also use the app to start the engine, but we'll go through that on a different video. Now to go back again, you can use the controller. We're gonna move that back and move it back a second time and a third time. There you go. Now the last thing we wanted to change is the key button settings. So the normal way, whenever you press the unlock button once, it only unlocks the driver's door. If you push it twice, unlocks all doors. If you like it that way, just leave it. If you want to change it so that one click unlocks all doors, you go into driver's door only, select it, go down to all doors and select it once again. There you go. Now whenever you press the unlock button once, all doors would unlock instead of just the driver's door. Now I'll go back one more time, back a second time, and back a third time. That's everything I do to set up the car the way you like it, change the preferences, change what you like and what you don't like about it. One last thing I wanted to show you, if you do have any questions about any features, you can keep going down to owner's manual right here. You can select owner's manual and you can either do a keyword search, picture search, or operating tip. What I like about operating tip is that it would actually play a video for you. So if I go down to heads-up display as an example and it's selected, it will show you a video about heads-up display.
Information that is relevant.
So that's something that will come in handy for you guys. I'm gonna go back again, back one more time, and that's it. That's everything I do to change the settings in the car. the last step is changing the display in the main area. Now this is just like a phone. You can go to the right, you can go to the left. If you want to change something, let's say you don't want the local traffic conditions and you want to see something different, all you do is you press and hold it. You press it once again, and now you can change it for anything you want. So I'm just gonna go down, and as an example, let's say you want the sport display. You just select it and you press done here on the right. That's it. Now it shows you the sport display. If you want even more detail, you just press it once again and it shows you the pound-feet of torque, horsepower, G-force, PSI, and the temperature. Okay, so that's everything I wanted to show you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. The vehicle I used today to demonstrate was a 330i. You can use this on any iDrive 7. So as long as you have iDrive 7, all these steps will be pretty much the exact same. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below, and we're here to answer any questions you may have. Welcome to BMW and have a great day.